Hello, this is Angel. Welcome to Vlogmas Day 2. Today I have a video request from John. He wants to know about Krampus. I will do my best to talk about Krampus. First, I'd like to start by letting everybody know that there's this great book all about Christmas. It was written by a professional historian, David Johnson. I read it last year and it changed everything about Christmas for me. So maybe the first time you heard about Krampus was when the movie came out a few years ago. Then he was everywhere, like out of the blue. Suddenly there's this demonic Santa Claus-like character who's ruining Christmas. What happened? Well, that wasn't the first time much of the world had heard about him. Unless you come from a Catholic German-speaking background, you might not have heard of Krampus. That's because Krampus is BFFs with Saint Nick. And Saint Nick is a saint, so that's Catholic. But Saint Nicholas is not Santa. Catholic tradition tells us that Saint Nicholas was a bishop, probably from Turkey, who lived in the 4th century. He probably wasn't real. But Angel, I've heard the 3 daughters story. Unfortunately, the 3 daughters story is even earlier than Saint Nicholas. We know that it was Greek, and we know that it predates Saint Nicholas because the Greeks were really good about writing stuff down. To make matters more convoluted, Saint Nick is not brought into the historical record until a century after he should have been good and dead. The Middle Ages was a very crazy time. People made stuff up constantly. They did it because pilgrims, what we would now think of as tourists, would travel long distances to see relics. To make things even more confusing, Saint Nicholas was most likely an appropriation of a pagan god adopted by the church to convert the heathens. What can I say? The early days of the church were a confusing time, but they have gone back through their records and they have tried to weed out saints that they can't substantiate. But Saint Nicholas continues to persist. Why? Because who doesn't like presents? Then we have the Wild Man. The Wild Man was an anthropomorphized half-man, half-goat-like creature. He would abduct young women and have all kinds of other shenanigans and then run into the woods. The people of the village would go out, grab him, bring him back into the town, and kill him, and then, whoo, spring would come. What? When we mix religions, we get Saint Nick. And good children get gifts, and bad children get punished. But Krampus was still a beloved part of the winter tradition. The Catholic Church decided to take him and turn him into Saint Nicholas's muscle. Now Krampus did the punishing and Saint Nicholas did the rewarding. Can you believe it? If you liked this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. And share the link to this video on social media. See you tomorrow!